Everyone's asking the same question right now. How long does it take for a solar battery to pay for itself? And if you're getting your information from articles written before 2026, I've got news for you. Those numbers are completely wrong. The 30% federal tax credit expired on December 31st, 2025, and it changes everything about battery payback calculations. So, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the new math to figure out if a battery makes financial sense for your home in 2026. Hey everyone, welcome back to Integrate Sun. So here's what most people don't realize. Depending on where you live and how you use a battery, it can still pay for itself faster than most home improvements, despite the tax credits gone. Okay, guys, let's start with the actual price tag. In 2026, a typical home battery system costs between $9,000 and $19,000 installed. That's for a system in the 10 to 13.5 kilowatt hour range, something like a Tesla Powerwall 3, an Enphase 5P, or a Franklin WH battery. Now, without that 30% federal tax credit, you're paying the full price. If you installed that same system in 2025, you would have gotten $3,000 to $6,000 back at tax time. In 2026, that money stays in the installer's pocket, not yours. But, and this is important, battery prices themselves are actually falling. The hardware, the actual battery cells, dropped to around $70 to $108 per kilowatt hour in 2026. The problem is something called soft costs. That's the labor, permitting, electrical upgrades, and interconnection fees. Those costs are going up because of installer demand and utility bottlenecks. So yes, the upfront cost is higher without the federal credit, but that doesn't mean the payback math is dead. It just means we have to be a lot more honest about what drives ROI now. Here's where most articles get this wrong. They calculate payback like this: take the cost of the battery, divide by your annual electric bill savings. Done. That's not how batteries actually make money in 2026. A modern battery pays for itself through three different income streams, not just one. The first one is called time of use arbitrage, and this is the big one. Here's how it works. Your utility charges different prices for electricity depending on the time of day. In the middle of the afternoon, when everyone's AC is cranking, they might charge 45 cents per kilowatt hour. At 2 a.m., when no one's using power, maybe 8 cents. Your battery charges when electricity is cheap, either from your solar panels during the day or from the grid at night, and then discharges when electricity is expensive, saving you that huge rate difference. In California, under the NEM 3.0 rules, if you don't have a battery, you export your solar to the grid for about 5 cents per kilowatt hour. But if you store that same energy and use it during peak hours when the grid would charge you 45 cents, you just turned 5 cents into 45 cents. That's a 9 times multiplier on the value of your solar energy. All right? So the second income stream is called grid services and VPP programs. This one's newer, and a lot of homeowners don't even know it exists. Some states pay you to let the utility borrow your battery during emergencies. It's called a virtual power plant, or VPP. Your battery stays at your house, you keep control, but during high demand events, like a heat wave when the grid is stressed, the utility can tap into your stored energy to keep the lights on for the neighborhood. In Massachusetts, the Connected Solutions program pays you up to $275 per kilowatt of power your battery provides. For a typical Powerwall contributing 5 kilowatts, that's about $1,375 per year in pure profit. You didn't have to do anything, the battery just responds automatically. Texas has a similar program through ERCOT, where you get monthly bill credits. It's not going to cut your payback in half, but it's real money that stacks on top of your bill savings. Then the third income stream is avoided costs. This one's harder to quantify, but it's real. What's it worth to you to not lose $500 of food in your fridge during a blackout? What's it worth to avoid paying $150 a night for a hotel when your AC goes out in August? What about keeping your home office running when you've got a client deadline? A battery doesn't eliminate your electric bill, but it eliminates the chaos of not having power when you need it most. Now, here's something critical that affects your payback calculation that most people completely miss. If you're pairing a battery with solar panels, you need to make sure you have enough panels to actually charge the battery while also running your home during the day. We actually did a deep dive video on exactly how to calculate the right number of panels for your battery. It's one of our most popular videos because we reveal the math that installers don't want you to see. Link in the description below. Okay, so when does this thing actually pay for itself? The honest answer is it depends heavily on where you live. Let me show you 4 different markets with real numbers. In California, 5 to 7 years. California has the fastest payback in the country, and it's not close. Why? 3 reasons. Crazy high electricity rates. Some areas hit 50 plus cents per kilowatt hour during peak. NEM 3.0 rules that make batteries basically mandatory to get value from solar. Time of use rates with massive swings between peak and off peak. If you're in California and you don't have a battery, you're effectively donating your solar energy to the utility for pennies. A battery lets you keep that value. Texas, 6 to 10 years. Texas payback is longer but still solid, especially if you participate in grid programs. Your electric rates aren't as extreme as California, but you've got the ERCOT real-time buyback plans, where you can sell power back at market rates, sometimes $5 per kilowatt hour during grid stress. You've got the ADER pilot that pays monthly credits. You've got a grid that has reliability issues. The financial case in Texas is less about rate arbitrage and more about grid independence, plus participation in wholesale markets. Florida, 8 to 12 years. Florida's payback is slower because your electric rates are relatively low and you don't have aggressive time of use structures yet. But hurricane season makes backup power a necessity, not a luxury. Your utility rates are climbing, up 2.3% to 3.5% annually. Insurance savings. Some insurers offer discounts for resilience upgrades. In Florida, the payback calculation includes a lot of insurance value. You're paying for peace of mind as much as bill savings. Massachusetts, 6 to 9 years. Massachusetts hits a sweet spot. High electric rates, among the highest in the nation. The Connected Solutions 5PP program, $1,375 per year in pure profit. Cold winters where heat pumps drive electric demand. If you stack your bill savings plus your VPP payments, you're looking at a very competitive payback even without the federal credit. Before you run the numbers yourself, there are two technical realities you need to factor in, and most calculators ignore these completely. First one is batteries degrade. Your battery doesn't hold 100% of its capacity forever. Most batteries lose about 4% of their capacity per year. By year 15, you're only storing about 60% of what you could store on day one. Does that kill the payback math? No. But it means your savings in year 10 are smaller than your savings in year 1, and you need to account for that. The second factor is that energy transfer isn't free. When you charge a battery and then discharge it, you lose about 15% of the energy to heat. It's just physics. Electrons moving through circuits generate heat, and that heat is wasted energy. In dollar terms, if you put in $10 worth of electricity, you only get $8.50 worth back out. That 15% efficiency loss eats into your ROI, and it's something a lot of online calculators completely ignore. All right, here's how to figure out if a battery makes sense for you in 2026. Ask yourself these 4 questions. Question 1. Does my utility have time of use rates? If yes, a battery has a clear financial path. If no, your payback will be much longer and the decision becomes more about backup than bill savings. Question 2. What's my risk of power outages? If you lose power once a year for a few hours, a battery might not be worth it. If you're in Florida during hurricane season or Texas during summer grid stress, the insurance value becomes a huge part of the ROI. Question 3. Do I have solar already? If you already have solar, adding a battery is usually a no-brainer because you're just capturing value you're already losing. If you don't have solar yet, you need to calculate both together as a system. Question 4. Can I stack incentives? Even without the federal credit, some states still have rebates. California's SGIP program, Massachusetts Connected Solutions, Texas Energy Fund grants, these can all shave years off your payback. If you want help running the numbers for your home, with your utility rates in your state, we'll do it for free. No sales pitch, no pressure, just real math so you can make an informed decision. Click the link below to book a free consultation with Integrate Sun. We'll pull your actual utility data, show you what your payback timeline looks like, and give you options for how to move forward. Because energy independence isn't dead in 2026. It just requires more honesty about what it actually costs and what it's actually worth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.